today I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And a little background, I am an aquarium fanatic. I absolutely love aquariums. I visit, every time I go to a new state, I always try to visit the big aquarium in that state. And I judge all aquariums on one aquarium that's my absolute favorite. And that's the Monterey Bay Aquarium over in Monterey Bay, California. One of the interesting things about the Monterey Bay Aquarium is the only aquarium in the world that has successfully held a great white shark in captivity. So I've wanted to visit the Georgia Aquarium for a very, very long time. And I have the opportunity today. So we're actually gonna do the tour and we're gonna explore the aquarium and I'm gonna film everything. So we hope you enjoy the journey. That's a big whale shark right there. And one of the neat things about the Georgia Aquarium is they actually have whale sharks in captivity. There's a reef shark right there. Oh my God, there's the whale shark right above us. Good Lord, that's huge. There's some angels. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, there's a whale shark going over us right now. Oh, wow. This is really impressive. Oh, and they got little interaction section here. See an enemy, you see urchins. First impressions, this is actually really incredible. This is one of the more beautiful aquariums that I've seen. Very well laid out. There's so much to see and we've just barely scratched the surface, but we've seen whale sharks, which is fantastic. And if you don't know anything about whale sharks, I'll probably put a link in the comments below for educational purposes. They're very, very safe. They won't hurt you. They eat plankton. So they're really not kind of like they're not a threat to divers, except for divers have been known to be injured by the swoop of their tail and because of the bulk of the whale sharks themselves. But as I stated before, I'm a huge fan of the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I'm becoming a huge fan here of the Georgia Aquarium. This is astounding. To do a simple comparison to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, the Georgia Aquarium, the main viewing area is immense, very much like the main viewing area, the larger tank at Monterey. I kind of feel that the Monterey Bay Aquarium, this type of view is a little bit bigger. I feel it's just It goes up 2 stories, very similar to this, but I think it's a little bit wider. Though this obviously holds a lot more water than the Monterey Bay. So in the Monterey Bay, the aquarium itself, you can see the back of the wall here. Now this actually expands out to the sides, much bigger space. But I think the main viewing over on Monterey Bay is bigger. This is extremely impressive. I'm quite stunned by the intricacies of Georgia's aquarium to display the fish. This is really quite beautiful. If you have the opportunity, I can tell you right now, without going through all the reviews and everything, you really need to visit this aquarium if you have that capabilities. It's probably worth a trip in its own. Now look at the manta ray down there. This is incredible. Looks like there's a lot to do with this aquarium. I mean, this isn't just a standard aquarium. It's like almost like an amusement park. This is crazy. And they have a simulator that you could go on, VR simulator. And it looks like you're going on a dive, and that's pretty amazing there. We're about to start the tour, and I was told that we cannot film the whole tour, but we'll film the majority of the aquarium when we can.
All of this is part of the filtration system for tropical divers. So if you want to take a look at that, you're free to do so, but we are going to see a lot more of that later on. Look above you though. You can see the sky. The largest skylight in the aquarium is directly above us, because if you look over here, come right over here, this is where our reef ball is. So coral is actually a little animal. It's got algae inside of it, and the algae performs photosynthesis like a plant. So we make sure this area's got plenty of light. The skylight, artificial lights, as a backup in case you get a cloudy day. There's our wave machine. Every 2 minutes, it dumps 1,500 gallons of water. So here in a bit, we'll look. But we just add new filtered water, new habitat. Circulates the water, oxygenates the water. Doesn't look sweet. That's the main role. It looks sweet. Propagation system. We do a lot of work down in the Florida Keys to help our coral reefs. So one way we can grow the coral out in the ocean is to put them on these tree-like structures, so that way the coral has more water flowing all around them with lots of good nutrients. So we'll have them growing on the trees to establish them, and then we might take a cutting and have it attached to a smaller rock, and then we can use some gray putty to just attach them to the reef ball or out in the ocean. Works either way. We do get quite a few corals via confiscations, as people will try and smuggle corals through the airport here. It's got to go somewhere, and it usually ends up here with us.
These are giant clams. These get massive. Those are acroporas there. Those are the stony types of corals, and mushrooms and other things that you see down below there are soft corals. So it really depends. The acropora corals, these stony corals, require a lot of light for their photosynthesis. Some corals eat, put out feelers and capture food like mini planktons and so forth. So microplankton is often used as a food source for different types of corals.
Everything is separate. So when you pump it in here or pull it out, that's a protein skimmer. It'll pump all up and catch any oil and grease that goes to the top. The blue tanks that you see here, those are sand filters. Bacteria in the sand eat the ammonia, so the fish waste turn that into nitrates, nitric gas. Aquarium, we buy them in the 1-ton bag size.
1-ton bags of instant ocean. Wow. Well, that's your calcium and iodines and all that stuff right there.
Don't forget to look up. We have a lot of piping here at the aquarium. Approximately 70 miles of it. So our whale sharks were caught actually off the coast of Taiwan. The original purpose for them was to be food for people, because Taiwan allowed fishermen to catch a certain number of them. Now they do not allow any whale sharks to be caught, so that's really great. But now we had to get them all the way from Taiwan to Atlanta. It was an 8,000-mile journey, 30-hour flight. We designed our own crate for them that had its own filtration and pump system. And UPS shipped them for us free of charge. That's pretty great. So it's 25,000-pound container, what you consider the whale shark, the crate itself, and the water inside of it. So the plane lands here. We take the crate, put it on a truck. Shark comes through those doors. And then what you're going to see in a second is we're going to place the crate over here inside these yellow lines, because up above us in the ceiling there's actually a hatch that opens up and there's a crane above it. And so the crane picked up the whale shark, water and all, in this big sling all the way up and across, because through that wall is Ocean Voyager, our whale sharks, everything. So you can see, lined it up, lifted them up, gently lowered them back down. So how big are the whale sharks? When they first got here, I believe they range from 10 to 15 feet. They are still growing. Right now, our smallest whale shark is 18 feet, and then our largest is about 26 feet. Wow. And they're still growing. Their average is 30 to 40 feet in length as adults.
How many do you have?
4.
4.
2 males, 2 female whale sharks.
How much did you say your largest aquarium is?
Here we have 10 million gallons.
And then the large aquarium holds how much?
The largest habitat we have here is Ocean Voyager, and that is up 6.3 million.
6.3 million gallons.
The backup generators here, about, let me see. So with the backup generators, we could run 1 to 3 weeks on that power. So if the city of Atlanta were to lose power, we'd be okay.
Just finished the behind the scenes tour here. We got to see the filtration systems, the nurseries, the medical labs, where they have baby fish. It was actually really kind of cool. The tour is only $15 on top of your ticket admission. Now, here's something that's kind of cool. If you're in a neighboring state, like the southern states, so if you're from Florida, if you show them your Florida ID, you get a discount on your ticket to come in. So keep that in mind. Your next trip up here to Atlanta, you should absolutely come and see the Georgia Aquarium. Now, the interesting thing I thought about the aquarium is although this screening room where the larger area was that we saw earlier looked to be smaller than the Monterey Bay Aquarium, the viewing section, the aquarium is much much larger. The Monterey Bay Aquarium, their big aquarium has 1 million gallons. This one is 6.5 million gallons. It's immense. So they have 4 whale sharks in the exhibit, and although other aquariums in the world have it, I think this is the only place in the Western Hemisphere that has whale sharks, and it's definitely the only one in the country that has whale sharks. We just did the 4D theater experience, and that was actually kind of cool. It's if you've ever done a 4D experience, they have them at like Disneyland, also at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, like Bugs Life does it. And you sit in a seat, sometimes you get water sprayed at you, and it's very interactive. You know, 3D glasses, like in the Bugs Life, you'll get like a little stinger in the back. Get your attention. It's actually kind of fun. This one was interesting. It's about a 15-minute show, and then it says to be continued, and I'm like, well, you just gave us a teaser. How's it going to be continued? How are we going to see that?
Hello, where you coming from?
Florida, Orlando area.
Hello, Florida.
Here at the Georgia Aquarium, we're here in the Dolphin Theater. It's pretty big. It's actually larger than I anticipated. Overall, the Georgia Aquarium is massive. It's a huge aquarium. The big question here is, how did the dolphin show here at the Georgia Aquarium compare to like the dolphin show over at SeaWorld in Orlando? This was actually a pretty decent dolphin show. I saw some tricks that I hadn't seen before at other dolphin shows, but I saw some of the same jokes and some of the same things that we see over at SeaWorld. So for instance, at SeaWorld in the Sea Lion show, you'll see the whole thing with the kid and the fish and rubbing their hands and then rubbing on their shirts. Exact same joke here. This show was actually pretty decent and wasn't massively crowded. It was pretty easy to find a seat. First 10 rows, like always, are soak zones. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was a very good show. Oh wow, just realized there's fish above us. Some gars above us. Wow, look at the big one up there. But one of the things I really like about this is the theming. So these are alligator snapping turtles. You see the guys right there? Not really doing a lot, but kind of cool. These are red piranhas and black spotted piranhas. That exhibit was actually kind of cool. It's all freshwater. There's things to do upstairs, so I'm probably going to go back upstairs and see that section there. because you can walk above where the waters are, or you know, where all the fish are. So that'd be kind of cool. So it's the Aquanaut Adventure, a discovery zone. I think it's made mostly for kids, but I am a kid, so we're gonna go and check it out anyhow. Like a little petting zone area here, and they got some skates. All right, we're gonna walk around, we're gonna explore. I love kid zones because there's always something cool to see. They gotta keep the kids excited, right? So we're gonna walk around and see what we can find in here. So far, I have to say that this has been really entertaining. So there's a little rope section here where you can walk across and go over the fish tanks. We're gonna do that. All right, it's our turn to go across. This actually reminds me a lot of like the kid area at Jurassic Park over at Universal Studios Orlando. There's a lot of these kind of net crawly areas in there, but this one had kind of like a area, the bottom kind of runs around a lot, which is more like Tom Sawyer Island over at Disney World. And then here's the area we were before. You can see the top parts of the water. And hey, look, we have alligators. That's kind of cool. I'd like to point out, I see alligators here in Georgia. I've lived 3 years in Orlando, and I've never seen an alligator. There's something wrong with that. So it's kind of neat being able to see the aquarium areas from the top and see how much detail they've put into this. It's not just looking down, they have aquariums up here as well. Like right behind me here, there's more freshwater aquariums talking about the different types of fish. I wanted to come up here and check out everything. They have a big layout here of the Gator Challenge. Wow, 17 feet, that's amazing. And then here's the gars that we saw that were above us. So we got alligator gar there, yawning. This is really, really cool. One thing we learned on the tour is that this was started by the guy who started up Home Depot, and they donated like, you know, I think it was like 25 million of his own money, or like 200 million of his own money, and it ended up going, getting more donations, and they built this. And Coca-Cola actually donated the land for this exhibit, and now it can be shared by everybody. We're in another part of the exhibit. These are orange cup polyps. I've actually had these in my reef tanks in the past. That's a protein skimmer, so that gets like garbage out of the water. I've used those before in the past. And this kind of talks about, you know, filtration, different types of animals. You got horseshoe crabs in that tank someplace. I don't actually see them. And then there's the chocolate chip starfish. That was a big one. These are cleaner shrimps. Wow, look at all this. And lots of starfish. This is really cool. All right, so there's a seal over there, but if you look in the back there, you can see the beluga kind of swimming towards us. That's a beluga whale. Oh, look, more seals. So we're gonna actually go down and view them from the lower area. So this is interesting. This shows you if you took a styrofoam cup, it shows you the actual cup size originally. At 3,543, this is the pressure does to the styrofoam cup. And they're showing you at different depths what happens to the cups. And I've seen that at other, like on documentaries where they'll attach the cups to submarines, and as it goes down, then it comes back up, and there are all these little compact crushed items. It's pretty cool. otters. Oh my God, overwhelming goodness. Look at it. That's a huge otter. Penguins, puffins, and sea otters, oh my. And you crawl in through that area over there, there's a hole, and then as you crawl through, wow. All right, we have to do this. I don't want to do this, but we have to do this. Woo, hey, we're inside here, and we're face to face with an echo and penguins. Look at these guys, pretty cool. So it's not as cool as actually doing like a penguin encounter where I get to pet the penguins, but realistically, this is kind of cool. And there's a massive echo. It was actually kind of cool. You know, got to crawl through the tubes and all that nifty stuff and ruin my knees for your pleasure. So these are dragon seahorses. Now if you're in Orlando, you can see these over in SeaWorld at the aquarium near the Manta roller coaster. I bet I absolutely love these. Every time I see them in an aquarium, these are some of my favorite things to come and look at. We've seen sea otters, we've seen puffins, we've seen fish, we've seen all kinds of stuff. Now we're gonna go over to the beluga whales. So I've actually done a beluga experience in San Diego at SeaWorld. Now there you actually can put on a wetsuit and go into the water, into the tank with the beluga whales, which is amazing. You get to hug them and touch them and learn a lot about the whales themselves. Now the Orlando experience for the beluga whales, you actually stand on the platform and you're allowed to touch them, but you don't go into the tanks with them. So as far as I know, the only experience where you're allowed to actually go into the tank with the beluga whales is in San Diego, California at SeaWorld. That is a Japanese spider crab. Japanese spider crabs can have a 13-foot leg span. These are some of the largest crabs in the world. You can see behind me is a kelp forest display, and the most impressive one I've ever seen at an aquarium is at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in Monterey, California. It is immense, but it's very similar to this. Monterey actually has kelp forests that you can scuba dive through. Monterey diving areas are some of the most popular in the world. But imagine this being really, really thick and swimming through it. It's incredible. So this big, huge fish you see here is a California sheephead. is actually considered a game fish. So I've seen people catch these out in California when I lived out there. They're very, very popular. I don't know how they are for fighting, for sports fish, but I've seen them get caught for eats. Up there, swimming the kind of brown fishes, that's a kelp bass. So here at the Georgia Aquarium, we've seen almost everything here. The last thing we're going to go through right now is the tropical diver, which has coral kingdoms and all that stuff. So this should be really, really beautiful. So these are Japanese nettle jellyfish. Very similar display to what they have in the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California. Very similar. It's always a blue background so you can show off the colors. The lighting is always very specific. Very, very pretty jellyfish. This is amazing. This particular display is actually a little bit smaller than you would see at Monterey in California, but still very elegantly done. These are purple striped jellies, very, very pretty. Now, these are actually harmful to humans. If you get stung, it's gonna hurt really bad. But they're just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Oh, we have more orange cup corals. So these are actually really easy to put in a small reef tank, and they're very, very beautiful, but they spread quickly. So as you can see, there's quite a few in here. They can be kind of invasive to other corals if you have them on the same live rock. Oh, those are amazing. Upside down jellyfish. The white and black fish you see are cardinal fish. Oh, it's a shipwreck display. And seahorses. As seahorses are everywhere. You should always have a seahorse display at any aquarium you go to. Look, it's a moray eel. That's a green moray. And there's one at the bottom too. So, you want my honest opinion how I compare this to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is my favorite aquarium, which I judge every other aquarium by. It's equal to, and in many ways better. There's things I really, really love about the Monterey Bay Aquarium, but when it comes down to brass tacks, they did an incredible job on this aquarium. The exhibits, the housing, everything here is absolutely spectacular. If you're in Atlanta, Georgia, you need to come to the Georgia Aquarium. You won't be sorry. The price is very reasonable to come in here. This has to be one of the best aquariums I've ever visited. And I've been in all 50 states, and I always go to an aquarium in every state I've been into. And this was the last one I had to see. And I'm glad I saved the best for last. I'm the Orlando Wizard. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy my videos, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a $1 donation goes a long way in producing these videos. We'll see you soon.
Like and subscribe to the Orlando Wizard.